Okay, this is a topic. This sutta actually is mentioned, first expounded by Ananda. So it's a very short in Anguttara Nikaya. So after that is expounded by Sariputra, because Sariputra had the greatest wisdom. So this sutta is how you practice Samatha and Vipassana together. Yuganaddha, okay? Yuga means is link. Yuga is like two, linking. Nada is like linking. So two things linked together. How should we practice Samatha and Vipassana? Should we practice which one first? Samatha first or Vipassana first? Or should we both practice together? Or is there any other way? All right, so this sutta actually is not so famous because most people never talk about that. It's by Sayadaw Dr. Nandamala. I think most of you heard. I respected him very much because I always listen Abhidhamma talk from him. And in future, I hope to translate more of his Burmese Dhamma talk into English. So we already done few rounds of Abhidhamma Dhamma. Okay, now, so there are 4 ways here. Okay, now the first way, all these are according to Pali. Vipassana preceded by Samatha. Samatha preceded by Vipassana. Joint practice. Joint practice is the Yuganaddha here, the Pali, Samatha and Vipassana. And the fourth, if you're going to remove some disturbance or Upakkilesa is defilement on Vipassana. So in brief, Vipassana will precede by Samatha, means Samatha first, Vipassana later. So you can write down this one. And then later will be Vipassana first, Samatha later. The one will be Samatha and Vipassana together. The fourth is actually very easy, just remove. Even though it's written as disturbance, it's actually kind of defilements. Or sometimes we call it Upakkilesa. On Vipassana. So this happened only at Vipassana. So which one should we practice first? Now, the first one is Samatha first. I think most of you heard about the Pa'ao practice. So most of the, can say all the Pa'ao practice require the student to practice this one. Why? So this will be like Pa'ao because basically Pa'ao center will ask the student to practice up to the highest jhana. There is a 4th jhana. And this will be Mahasi. Mahasi, actually, we have another name called direct Vipassana. Okay. Now, which one is the normal one that you all practice? You all have to consider, are you practicing this one first or are you practicing this one first? We can say actually most of the people practicing Samatha first. Like, simply like when we do, what is Samatha? We have 40 types of Samatha, right? We have 10 Anusati, recollection. For example, you do the Buddhanusati, thinking about like the qualities of Buddha, like when we chant EDP, so Bhagava, Arahant. So, or you think about the Buddha, 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 Buddha. So you are actually finishing, you are starting with the Samatha. What's the purpose of Samatha? All right. So when we think about why do we do Samatha, because Samatha is basically we just want to calm the mind. Calm down the mind, right? Because if the mind is very restless, like you force the mind to go to breath, then the mind run away. Then you put the mind on the breath again, it run away. Or you put the mind on abdomen rising for it run away. After a while, you feel very tired, very frustrated. You don't get peace, you don't get calmness, you get only frustration, okay? And you get very angry, okay? So no point. So you might as well calm the mind. So there are 40 types of samatha and so on. So there are also like 10 asubha and so on. And normally people are practicing Asubha is like corpse contemplation and other thing. They also like metta, other thing like metta, which people practice all the time. Is good also, because if you have lots of anger and your mind is not calm down, so metta is the best. First, like we said before, radiate loving kindness to yourself. So calm the mind down or calm your mental defilement down. So the purpose of samatha is to calm down the mind to reduce, we call it the 5 hindrances. So this is important. If your mind are disturbed by like craving, ill will, craving, sensual desire, ill will, sleepiness, sloth and torpor. Normally we use the word sloth and torpor. Restless, worry, restless. Doubts. Now, if you are worried by this, you cannot get any samadhi, any concentration. So we need to reduce this, and that's the purpose of why we do samatha, to calm down the mind. So after that, when your mind is calmed down, now, if you are following this method, you're supposed to get as much samadhi as possible. The best is fourth jhana, right? So if you cannot get up to fourth jhana, at least try to get to first jhana. So after that, when, according to this sutta, when your mind already calmed down, then you contemplate okay. So this is the first way, right? Basically, in this book, it tells you what is the first way, second way, right? So after that, when he practiced the samatha, first change it to vipassana, right? So he need to remove all the fetters, all the defilements, and so on. So after that, then the vipassana come to him. Okay, now what kind of vipassana? It also depends on him. Let's say if he be able to get fourth jhana, then the vipassana now when we say vipassana and samatha is something different, you know. When we say samatha is the idea of samatha is one-pointedness. Okay, one-pointedness, basically preferable on one object. If your mind is on this and that object is moving around too much, so your mind is shakeable. So prefer to have one-pointedness. Now, on this term, one-pointedness, actually what we mean is just use a simple English word, focusing, right? Focusing on one object. So when your mind focus on one object, you get a very good samadhi. Now, what is samadhi? Samadhi is concentration. So the difference between samatha and samadhi. Samatha is actually, when we say samatha, the word samatha refer to practice. Okay, samadhi refer to the state of mind. Now, when we say vipassana, it's a practice. So you are supposed to see the characteristic like anicca, dukkha, anatta of anicca, dukkha, anatta on all object, you know, means all the mind matter object. Because if I put all object, sometimes people thought in Nibbana, it's on all object. So the purpose is to get wisdom, panya. Okay. So these two have different. Change the color. Feel like okay, right? So that's why these two are different. Okay, so the samadhi to get one-pointedness and vipassana is try to get the panya knowledge. So that's why the first person they should do is either calm down the mind by practicing samatha. So after you get some good samadhi, then when you get a jhana, right? So when you get jhana, you cannot practice vipassana. You have to leave the jhana. Then you contemplate the jhanic factor. Jhanic factor, for example, we call it the jhana state, like the initial application, vitakka, vichara, and so on, right? So all these like things and so on. Try to see them as anicca dukkha anatta. All right. So basically, you have to go inside the samadhi and leave it. Go inside the jhana, leave it. So this is a samatha first, vipassana later. Okay. Now, the second method is vipassana. Vipassana means don't practice any samatha. So you can just, as I mentioned below, just you choose any object you can, as long as it must be nama rupa. So samatha is much more on, actually most of the time it's on concept, because like kasina is on concept. On metta, we take the concept of living beings. Even though it's a human beings or what, it's still on the concept. But vipassana must be on nama rupa. So you take any Namarupa, try to see impermanent suffering, non-self to get knowledge. So after that, now, there's a question here. What kind of samatha it is? All right. So is it the samatha same like the samatha earlier, or is it any kind of samatha? Right. So for this, now Mahasi is also considered as this one, according to Sayadaw Dr. Nandamala. Mahasi Sayadaw is also considered under this second category. Right? It's a vipassana first, samatha later. So we have to see what kind of samatha later. Now, according to this text, okay, second method, samatha preceded vipassana, means vipassana first, samatha later. Right? Then means that he need to practice vipassana, try to see anicca dukkha anatta, and go all the different types of knowledge, udabaya, banga, and so on. Right? Until he get the highest one, sankarupika jnana. Right? Then after that, he this one. But here it didn't say about samatha. Okay, to read this text, we have to find, because this is actually it's a very big dhamma talk. So actually I did lots of typing and I asked somebody to check, but actually I would say I'm the about 70% this is done by me. Okay, now, okay, so we go for second method 77. Right. Now, here is say, what kind of samatha? Samatha here means samadhi, right? So samadhi is one-pointedness which has nibbana as object. This means that it is the mind that inclined towards nibbana, right? So Voshaga Ramana, having the intention on nibbana. Because vipassana meditator, they have the intention to attain nibbana. So their mind should incline towards the nibbana. So all the mental state, right thought, right action, and so on, they work together with nibbana, incline towards nibbana. So that's the meaning of this is okay. Now, so this is the normal practice of Vipassana, and this samatha refer to this one. Okay, so is the intention of the mind working, the mind, the mental state work together. Work together, incline towards nibbana, right? So this means that we still can practice. If you're practicing Mahasi, you can just practice as normal, right? But later when your mind become more mature, more stronger, at the same time you try to incline the mind toward nibbana. This is the method there. Okay, any question up to here? I continue. Now, the third one is, what is samatha and vipassana? Right? Now, I review, okay? The first one is samatha first, vipassana later. Second one is vipassana first, samatha later. The one is samatha and vipassana together. All right. It's actually is not too complicated. It's just like one, they get inside jhana, right? So after that, they need to, when inside the jhana means the mind fixed on the object. When the mind fixed on object, the mind cannot do any contemplation. Okay. So what they do is they need to get out of jhana. Okay. Once they are outside the jhana, but their mind is still very pure, so they call it in a access concentration, right? Because it's impossible for you to contemplate vipassana inside jhana. So in the access concentration, so they start to contemplate all the jhana factor, okay, our jhana factor as impermanent suffering and so on. Okay, so then they get to the first jhana. So they get to first jhana. Then after that, they go to second jhana. Then they get out. Then they contemplate. Okay. Then they go to third jhana and so on. So it's the same circle. It means that even though we call it together, but samatha means jhana. When you contemplate, it's vipassana. So samatha and vipassana, they are not happen at the same time. They happen actually one after another. All right. So when we say this is actually, they are happen one after another. So in a very not so very far. Not to say very spaced out, because when you are inside jhana, you get out, you're in access concentration where your mind is very pure, still very pure. So you need to contemplate vipassana. So it's one after another. So this is for those who be able to get jhana. And the last one is remove the defilements on vipassana. Now, what kind of defilements? Right? This is something that all those who want to be good in vipassana, you all should know. There are 10 kind of upakkilesa. Okay, this one. This kind of thing happen when you have very good concentration, when your mind is very pure. Then at that time you have very good experience, like light, joy, peacefulness, knowledge. This one is before you attain magga. But because they are very good experience, then the mind think them as real thing. So then they stop meditating, right? So that's why in Pali they call it Dhamma Udacha Vikiheta, right? So how many things you have? Okay, you have 10 Upakkilesa. Okay, these 10 things, they are actually 1 to 9. They are very good state, very nice, like the light, the knowledge, the joy, tranquility, happiness, restoration, confidence, exertion, mindfulness, equanimity. 1 to 9, a very nice experience. Because they are too nice, then the meditator thought they already reached the Maggaphala, the enlightenment. So the mind stopped there. They enjoy it. So at that time, the number 10, attachment, will appear. So this is the real defilement. Okay. So even though these 10 are considered as a defilement on Vipassana, so we have this name, Vipassanupakkilesa, right? So, but only the 10 that is considered the real one. Okay. So what you have is you had 10 Vipassanupakkilesa. So people think like joy, happiness, knowledge, and maybe don't put it, tranquility, right? Are real or enlightenment, right? So they stop meditating and enjoy it. You know? So when enjoy them, that means that they are in the wrong track, because they do not want to contemplate anymore. They do not even want to see all these are impermanent. Impermanent means everything is subject to rise and fall, right? Rise and accept nibbana. So when they stop meditating, so they will not make any progress. Okay, so there are 10 of them. So this is important if, so this happen when you have the, we call it, at higher stage of Vipassana. If you are just practicing at the beginning, you don't get this at all. So when you practice, when your power is strong, and when you all have this, and you really think all these experiences, we call it the experiences, okay? All these experience as real one or as enlightenment one. So you stop here. So when you stop here, if you are following the four part, you have to remove them. If you don't remove here, you are forever stop. And at that time, even the ego will come, because you will think that my meditation is better. Other people meditation is not good. Because if as a real meditator, the more you meditate, your mind should be more humble. The more you meditate, you should understand about suffering of Namarupa, and you know that a lot of things are not in the control. You understand about anatta. And even though you might get frustrated, but you can recover easier compared to those who don't have the knowledge. All right, so up to this point, any question about this? This four method, Samatha first, Vipassana later, like Pa'ao method. Vipassana first, Samatha later, with the Mahasi. So Vipassana is you contemplate everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Samatha means the mind intending to the nibbana. Or another experience, another way to explain is that this Samatha refer to the moment of enlightenment, okay? Because when the enlightenment mind, we call it the Magga and Phala. Magga and Phala, they will take Nibbana as object. So at that time, the mind is focused 100% on Nibbana. So we can say as Vipassana later, as Samatha later. The third one will be one jhana, get out from jhana, contemplation, Vipassana. Then get inside second jhana, contemplate again. Go to third jhana, contemplate again. Go to fourth jhana, contemplate again. So it's like Samatha, Vipassana, and so on. And finally, number 4 is remove this. Okay. I think so far I mentioned about this. Maybe when you see this, you start to understand your practice. Any question? You all can ask question. Yes, sister.
Saji,
Yes.
I got a question. Yeah.
Okay.
How do we know whether we are in first jhana when the mind is
Okay.
still and concentrated?
All right. Now, when we are, have you learned Abhidhamma before?
Abhidhamma, little not
Little bit.
really
Okay,
in
okay.
that.
Normal in our mind, we are in the Kama Vachara. Kama Vachara means sense sphere. Sense sphere means is the mind that normally we see something, we hear something, we eat something. When we think about something, the mind is very normal. So everybody will experience this kind of mind. Or okay. So when somebody go to jhana, the mind is different type of mind. It's called the form and formless, rupa vachara, arupa vachara. The mind is different. So the person, if they are really in jhana, they will know. Because the experience is totally very different. Okay?
Okay.
It is not the normal mind. Like, for example, if somebody inside Nibbana, they will know. Because the mind that take Nibbana is the enlightenment mind, the Magga and Phala. Okay, so if you don't know you are in jhana, means you are not in jhana. Okay, very simply said.
Okay.
All right, it's very easy. Right, like for example, there's a question here. Okay, if when you finish eating, you're feeling full. Do you know that? Yes, right?
Yes.
So it's a
Yes.
clear experience. So if somebody inside jhana, it's very clear experience, because inside jhana means that the mind are not disturbed and not covered by hindrances. Normally, when the mind covered by hindrances, the mind is not clear at all, right? Yeah. So but when the mind is inside jhana, it's very clear experience. They will know. Definitely they will. Okay. So also when they're nibbana, right? Okay. Now, okay, is it clear?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Now
sir.
another question: what's the difference between 1 and third? Yeah. 1 is samatha first, vipassana later. So for example, the person might practice samatha up to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after 1, 2, 3, 4, they go to vipassana. But according to method number 3 is go to first jhana, get out, go for vipassana. Second jhana, get out, go to vipassana. Is one after another. It's very different from first one. First one is try to get as much as higher jhana you can. Okay, Sister Kao, clear? Is it clear?
Thank you, Seji.
Okay, so the first one is, now in power center, of course, if you are in a forest place, I've been to a power center there. So if you are staying in forest, you no need to worry about mundane thing. The food are provided by people. And if the mind have a very, if mind is already have no problem, and also because of good practice in the past life, of course. So some people can get 1 to 2nd to 3rd and 4th jhana easily. But some people it's very difficult to get jhana. You know, not everybody will get jhana. And some people will only get to 1st jhana. All right. So anyway, if you all can get to 4th jhana, that's the best. After that, because 4th jhana only got the sukha, happiness, and one-pointedness. So the mind is very calm, peaceful. So if you do the vipassana, then it's very powerful. But if you cannot get any jhana, so try to go for second method. Because no point waste your 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years just to try to get this samatha. You can go for second method where you practice vipassana first and try samatha later. Because remember, this sutta actually is preached by, you can find this sutta somewhere in the Anguttara. It's preached by Ananda, but Ananda normally heard from the Buddha. Okay, I think it's somewhere here. Is in the Patisambhida Magga, is expounded by the Sariputra, and you can find in this Anguttara Nikaya. Okay, so it's called Yuganaddha Sutta. Yeah, correct. Okay, now this sutta is preached by Ananda, all right, in the Kosabi, in the Kochita, right? So at that time, the Ananda, he told the monks there are 4 ways. So right. So this samatha, vipassana, samatha, and so. Okay. So these are preached by Ananda. So we can see this inside the original sutta. Now, when we say Nikaya, the one they consider more authentic will be the middle length, the long length, then the connected discourse. Another one will be this graduation. So that's why in Tuesday, when I will be in Malaysia with the Seremban group, Sudama group, I will start the Sutta class. Okay, so it's actually good for you all to join me also, because I plan to make it both online and offline. Online is actually very easy. I just turn on my computer like now, turn on the Zoom. So you all please come and listen also to the Buddha's teaching. All right. If no question, we can do our meditation now. Any last question on this practice? So this means that what we know is sometimes we no need to be say that we must go for Vipassana first or Samatha first. You can try both. You can sometimes you do Vipassana, sometimes you can do Samatha. But if you want to do the joint practice, it's only if you are good in the jhana. But if you already reach some higher knowledge of Vipassana, you can try the normal 4. Okay. Any last question? Okay, Sim. For laymen like us, how much time in order to fulfill jhana? Actually, is not to say depends on layman or whatever. It also depends on your mind. Because last time when I was in one of the Batu Pahat, is a Pao center, the Sayadaw, but he only asked the student to meditate to gain the first jhana because he said lay people difficult to get fourth jhana. So there's one auntie. Auntie means she never studied very high dharma or whatever, but she had very pure mind. Very pure mind. You can see her eye. You know, people who have pure mind means they are not so much mental defilement, means they do not have so much worry. You can see their eyes. Their eyes is very calm and peaceful. So the Sayadaw also predicted her within 10 days of meditation, she can get jhana. It's true. She never learned Dharma before, never practiced meditation before, but she just followed the Sayadaw advice, focus on the breathing. And within 3 or 4 days, she can get first jhana. All right. So it also depends on the mental state of that person. And as I say, if you practice samatha before in previous life, this life will be very easy for you. So if you're more inclined towards vipassana, this life vipassana will be easy to you. All right. Okay. All right. I think we can start our practice. We already have 45 minutes. So we will do sharing and marriage at 9:30. Okay, we can start now. Okay. So you just do whatever practice you are used to it. So what we do is we can calm down the body and mind. So I do suggest you can do breathing first or metta first. You do a slow breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then your mind is calm down. Then after that, when your mind already calm down, so you just focus on your nama rupa. You can do like what we say last time, either open awareness. So you just keep the mind on the body and notice any sensation, like body getting cold, getting hot and hot. Or you can contemplate the sixth sense door, how things you hear, the sound, the sight. Even though you close the eyes, sometimes you can see the light and so on. Okay. But if you find it so troublesome, you just want to focus on breathing, it doesn't matter. Okay, so later at 9:30, if you have some question, personal question, you can ask me also. Okay, we can start now.